Hey, what's up? It's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Tick the notification bell when I go live, so you know when I go live and when I post videos. And let's get into it. Yo, what's up, people, man? I had to take a little break. You know what I'm saying? First of all, check out the Mellow Ball short documentary that I did. I put a lot of work into that. It came out really good. I'm trying to step up my content game and give you guys stuff that, you know, it's more tender loving care. Just put it like that. I ain't trying to blow up other content creators. I ain't trying to big myself up. I'm just telling you guys that, I'm trying to give y'all guys more tender loving care. I've gotten better. So I don't want to only give you guys lives. I want to give you guys edited content also. But a lot of things have happened since I've been off live. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into it. First of all, I told you guys that I was gonna try to stay away from what's going on, and it's really in Hollywood, in the movie industry, and even the TV show industry. A lot of people. It's time to pay the piper. Yo, Cat Williams nailed it. I don't sweat nobody. So, like right now, when I look at dudes like Chappelle, Cat Williams, yeah, I hold them in a high regard. There's more. Sorry if you're righteous and I didn't name you. But there's a lot of good guys out there, a lot of good women out there. You know what I'm saying? Even some of the people that got drugged through the mud, I don't think they're bad people. I think they just got exposed for maybe one thing they did wrong, and it happened at a time where people are getting fried right now. I mean, if they are contemplating going after Oprah, if that's the truth, allegedly, you got to remember too, Martha Stewart was riding a wave like Oprah, and she ended up in jail for tax evasion. I believe it was tax evasion. So, but we're going to get into this video that I just seen. Yo, Matt Ritchie, what's goody, my brother? How you doing? Got to throw up the peace sign for Matt Rich. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into something. I want you guys to tell me what you think, because, this one had me like on some like, if this alleged turns into fact, it's crumbling. The whole house is crumbling, and it's good. Every now and then a rebuild has to take place, because what happens is the people in power start to take advantage of the smaller people, and let me tell you something. What happens too also is people that were at one time on the level as us make it big, and they forget where they came from, and they treat us like we're not human. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And it's time where the lower level regains power of the higher level, and I'm not like calling for anything or nothing like that. I'm just saying when it gets to a point where the only people eating are the people that already have a fridge full of food, and the people that don't got no food in their fridge are still starving and being kicked around, things got to change. So I'm gonna check the comments real quick, all right? And then we're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go like we blasting. All right, so I got the video right here. Let me hit the share screen. And presto changeo. We have our stage ready. All right, guys, like I said, I appreciate the comments, man. Tell me what you guys think. We about to let it go like Frozen. Let me put my volume up real quick. Make sure everything is audible. And let's go.
Having sex in the pool, people laying on our wine bars naked, couple having sex on a balcony.
The headlines say it all. Oprah Winfrey, one talk show queen, is now a fugitive. Ever since Diddy got slapped with those silver bracelets, Oprah's been nowhere to be found. But don't be fooled by the perfectly curated public image. The FBI thinks they've got plenty of reasons to be sniffing around, and Oprah's abrupt disappearing act has everyone asking why. Why can't Oprah stay in the United States? And what did the FBI discover just moments ago? First,
why can't Oprah stay in the United States? After this is over, we're going to do a little shout out for Johnny Somali. I don't care that he did a bunch of wrong stuff. You know, if they got him trapped over there in Korea and they're like torturing him and stuff, you know, even though he brought it upon himself, you know, I'm still going to shout him out. You know, I actually feel bad for him, even though he did such slimy stuff and got himself into that mess. But we'll check that later.
Diddy, the shiny suit wearing, always partying music mogul, ends up behind bars. He's allegedly been tangled up in a very shady underground scene. And apparently, he didn't just party with A-listers. There's footage, and Oprah's rumored to be right in the middle of this mess.
Yesterday, I was all the way across the country, and I was hiking on a Sunday afternoon, and I met a woman named Angela, who told me that she was going to sit this one out. Now, I know she was immediately sorry she told me that, because I would not let up. So I said, sit this one out. We don't get to sit this one out.
You want to know something? Ever since she said the thing about rappers, I talked about it in my other live. I just looked at her like, you really think you're better than other people? You know, people think finances make them better than other people. People think having a big house, a nice car makes them better than other people. You know, I be in neighborhoods where, you know, people don't have anything, and you're not better than them. You're not. Just because you got more money, you're not better than them. You know, and when she said that about the rappers, I'm like, you'll reap what you sow one day, you know? And sure enough, you know, there's a lot of rappers out there that are just fine in America. They didn't have to flee.
Whispers started swirling when it turned out that Diddy might have been keeping some pretty damning tapes featuring underage celebrities in compromising situations. Who was allegedly holding on to those tapes? Oprah, of all people, apparently shelled out a cool $75 million for them. Now,
if she bought $75 million worth of tapes, like the man just said, you know, is alleged, she's in trouble.
What exactly a billionaire media mogul wants?
Because that's police evidence. And yeah, what would a media mogul like Oprah want with $75,000 worth of the secret tapes?
Wanted with such tapes is a question that nobody has a clear answer to, but it's definitely not painting her in a good light.
Security cameras in all the halls, and seeing that person sneak out around 2 a.m. was definitely a little suspicious. The most shocking example was an incident where the wedding was around 2 p.m.-ish that day. Come nightfall, one of our event staff slept with the wife and ended up getting caught. It turned into quite a big deal with screaming and shouting and all this stuff. He hid in a bathroom in nightfall. One of our event staff slept with the wife and ended up getting caught. It turned into quite a big deal with screaming and shouting and all this stuff. He hid in a bathroom in a supply closet until the heat died down, and then he just walked into the front office and walked out like nothing ever happened.
And if that isn't enough, let's add Jaguar Wright's accusations into the mix. Wright's the kind of musician that speaks her mind, sometimes a little too much. She's been throwing names out there like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and now Oprah, calling them out.
See, even though I appreciate this guy's video, and I'm going to tell you his name right now, the name of his channel, real quick.
For holding on to dirty secrets and maybe even dirtier deeds. Sure.
All right, this is coming from Rap Heat. Now, when he says Jaguar Wright talks a lot, maybe a little too much, I disagree. Until what she says is debunked as a lie, I don't think she's speaking too much at all.
Some of the claims got her in hot water, and Piers Morgan even had to apologize for letting those accusations air on his channel. But that hasn't stopped Oprah's name.
You see, they said that he had to retract the things he said about Jay-Z and Beyonce. But you notice the same things that they made him retract, They did not hit Jaguar Wright with a defamation suit. Why would you make Piers Morgan retract everything she said? And they got him to retract it. But the person that actually the mouth it came from, you're not going to sue them for defamation? That does not make sense.
From getting dragged through the mud, social media has been blowing up, with users alleging that Oprah's been spending millions to cover up unspeakable acts. Sounds dramatic, but when a billionaire like Oprah bolts for the nearest border right after Diddy's arrest, it's no wonder folks are putting two and two together.
This lady has been doing for quite some time. She is grabbing the
shotgun approach.
Well, no, she's grabbing the salacious and very obvious headlines and expounding on them with. And again, I'm only saying this because I heard her say out of her mouth that she saw a video of Stevie J and Joe Budden. So I know.
It's funny how 1 minute you're everyone's best friend, and the next you're a fugitive. Oprah built an empire by being the person that America trusted.
Yo, I ain't gonna rewind it, but what did Joe Buttons just say? Oh, man.
Every weekday afternoon, people tuned in to their best friend, Oprah.
That was Oprah with the girl from Orange. The Orange is the New Black, just in case you didn't know who that was.
She was the woman who made people cry.
The reason she was with her is because she cast her in The New Color Purple also. You know, the thing that they said that she tried to slay Taraji P. Henson on the salary. You know, the one that's The Color Purple that Taraji P. Henson went public saying that Oprah tried to give her $3 to play the role in Color Purple.
Laugh and think, and also somehow convince them to buy a $400 blender. Now that friendly face is being accused of shady backroom deals, possibly using her fortune to hide things nobody wants to talk about. The question remains, if there's nothing to hide, why the sudden escape? Because folks, let's not forget, the FBI isn't just looking for her for kicks. This isn't about overdue library books. Oprah's being actively hunted, and there are serious accusations behind it.
I think, you know what I think, honestly? I think Oprah came out with good intentions, and I think giving away all those cars and giving away stuff to people and seeing people auction some of the stuff that she gave to them on eBay, I think it put a little chill in her on some, why should I give? It's like almost like she had all this money, she decided to help, and she felt like she was being taken advantage of. This is, you know, this is speculation. None of this is true. It's all alleged as of the present. So, but when I seen her give away the cars, I remember an episode of her saying that they went on eBay and auctioned the cars or whatever. And I think she always had a little bit of prejudice to her, even though she's black. Because I don't mean prejudice towards blacks. I mean prejudice from people who rock in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And well, you can't expect people not to be in the streets if they're poor and their parents are poor. You know, my father had just finally come into a little money, but he didn't have the chance to get us out of Bedford-Stuyvesant yet. After my father came into money, I still had to stay in Bedford-Stuyvesant for 8 years, and my brother had to stay in Bedford-Stuyvesant for 11 years until my father moved us to a better neighborhood, which was Ridgewood, Queens. You know, but what I'm saying is like you were treating people who come from a bad neighborhood like they were nothing, especially the rappers. The rappers were the guys who found pens and found a way away from the streets. Yeah, rap got a little crazy, but initially and for a very long time, it was a way out for kids from the streets. And you're going to go up there and say, I would never have a rapper on my show like there's something like insects. Now you reap what you sow.
Even Piers Morgan, who's usually no stranger to stirring the pot, had to backpedal after.
I don't wish her bad. I don't wish nobody bad, especially if they're not like, I don't want to see people incarcerated unless they're serial emmers, whatever you want to call it, you know, serial grapers and people who hurt children. You know, really, the whole rest of them, I'm not saying none of them should be incarcerated, but those are the big dogs. what my point is that I don't think she's evil, but I think she's dabbling with evil and doesn't know it. And you could get pulled in and sell your soul and not even know. So, maybe this is divine intervention, maybe.
For airing rights accusations about Oprah, lawyers were involved. Threats of lawsuits flew, and clips got taken down faster than a blink.
Well, Jack, you were right, unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves.
But if Oprah's so squeaky clean, what's she afraid of? Why is a woman who's known for her book club and giving away cars suddenly packing her bags and fleeing the country? Online chatter hasn't stopped since the rumors broke. Some say that black wealth, think Diddy, Oprah, Jay-Z, is under attack. Maybe there's truth in that. But then again, maybe not all.
Let's not leave Jay-Z out of this. That's right. I'm from Ralph, between Putnam and Jefferson. I've told people before, Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Fabulous, Sean P. Or for people who don't know, Sean Price is a legendary rapper that some people might not have heard of because he was a little underground. But they all come from my home neighborhood, and Jay-Z, as far as a man coming from my neighborhood, it's not mine. You get what I mean? The neighborhood I come from, you letting us down, brother. I don't know all the charities he's done, but if he went to Marcy and looked out for the people, from where he come from, then I stuck my foot in my mouth. But my big thing used to be with Jay-Z is that he didn't come and help everybody from where he came from. And it wasn't where he only had 5 million, 10 million. We're talking about a billionaire. You could take 30 million and you'll still have $970 million left. You can't live with $970 million. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm different. If I got to the bag like these people talking about a billionaire, all I would do would be working towards change. That's all I would do, is bettering people that are messed up. And she's over here buying sex tapes for $75 million, allegedly. And you're over here talking about you won't have a rapper on your show, but you'll buy $75 million worth of tapes to hide sexual deviance. Maybe even illegal sexual activities, allegedly. Remember, everything's alleged.
All that wealth was made with the purest of intentions.
Let me check the comments real quick. All right, real quick. There we go.
Last vacation with all of you guys at Palazzo Fuji was so meaningful to me because it was a full circle moment to be able to take all of my friends on vacation. It was really
I said, Kirby and I will pay for our part. She goes, absolutely not. And I said, okay. Thanks, Auntie O. Okay.
One thing is for sure. When the FBI gets involved, the story usually isn't about a misunderstanding. And now, Oprah's a fugitive. There's a reason people are comparing this to Jeffrey Epstein's scandal. It's not a far-fetched leap if all these pieces fall into place. We're in an era where misinformation runs rampant, and anyone with a smartphone can become an armchair detective. But at the same time, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Oprah may have laughed.
I'm glad he said that. Because he was saying anybody with a phone is now, armed with a device that could do so much things that they could play detective. But he also said when there's smoke, there's fire. And that seems to be the case throughout all this stuff. Everybody that Jaguar Wright brought up that we found it unbelievable, it's all coming true.
Off rumors before, like the time people claimed her house was raided. But this isn't just some internet conspiracy. There's an ongoing FBI investigation. And the fact that she felt the need to vanish right now, that's hard to ignore. In a strange twist, it turns out Oprah's been hiding more than just her avocado obsession. If you think about it, it's not exactly normal to have your own orchard just because avocados are too expensive. And maybe that.
Oh, he's killing it. And I remember hearing things were going on with her and her husband. women are different creatures than men, and I've told people that doesn't mean that men are better than women or women are better than men. What I'm telling you is, by nature, our heart and our minds desire different things. When people get married, I've been with my wife for 25 years. It's our 25th anniversary coming in about 8 months. I'm probably going to throw a big party. She probably won't see this, so don't tell her. But yeah, our 25th anniversary is coming in 8 months, and I know about a relationship. I've never strayed, no matter what the situation, and you could say whatever you want to say about why. Whenever you have a person that you're not happy with, then break up with them, and then go do whatever you want. But if you start doing whatever you want while you didn't tell him or her, they didn't get the memo, you foul. I'm gonna grab my energy drink right there. I'm gonna leave it playing.
That's how she's lived her entire life, on a level far removed from everyone else. When you've got $1 billion empire, you can afford to make problems disappear, or at least you think you can. But the timing here is just too convenient. Diddy gets arrested, the FBI is looking for dirt, and suddenly Oprah's out of the picture. It's like something straight out of a crime drama, except instead of actors, we've got real people, real money, and real allegations that could bring everything crashing down. The deeper you dig, the more it feels like Oprah's squeaky clean image might be nothing but a shiny facade.
The crazy thing is too, that people might be like, what you know about Oprah? A lot. I mean, I only used to watch her every day because my mother would put the show on. So like, I wasn't a daytime talk show watcher, especially not when I was 20, 22, 19, 18, 17. But my mother would put her show on religiously, and that's how I got wind of the fact that she didn't want rappers on her show. I was so offended when I heard that. I was an active rapper trying to get his foot in the door when she said that.
Why? Why can't Oprah stay in the United States? And what did the FBI discover just moments ago? First, Diddy, the shiny suit wearing, always partying music mogul, ends up behind bars. He's allegedly been tangled up in a very shady underground scene. And apparently, he didn't just party with A-listers. There's footage, and Oprah's rumored to be right in the middle of this mess.
Yesterday, I was all the way across the country, and I was hiking on a Sunday afternoon, and I met a woman named Angela, who told me that she was going to sit this one out. Now, I know she was immediately sorry she told me that.
All right, we're going to fast
forward. It's definitely not painting her in a good light.
Have security cameras in all the halls, and seeing that person sneak out around 2 a.m. was definitely a little suspicious. The most shocking example was an incident where
we were past
just walked into the front office and walked out like nothing ever happened.
And if that isn't enough, let's add Jaguar Wright's accusations into the mix. Wright's the kind of musician that speaks her mind, sometimes a little too much. She's been throwing names out there like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and now Oprah, calling them out for holding on to dirty secrets and maybe even dirtier deeds.
Get them, Jaguar.
Sure, some of the claims got her in hot water, and Piers Morgan even had to apologize for letting those accusations air on his channel. But that hasn't stopped Oprah's name from getting dragged through the mud. Social media has been blowing up, with users alleging that Oprah's been spending millions to cover up unspeakable acts. Sounds dramatic, but when a billionaire like Oprah bolts for the nearest border right after Diddy's arrest, it's no wonder folks are putting 2 and 2 together.
This lady has been doing for quite some time. She is grabbing the
shotgun approach.
Well, no, she's.
You see, this is the part I didn't understand. He says something to the effect that she said she's seen him having same-sex affair with Stevie J or something like that. Allegedly. I don't even know if I heard that correctly. You guys tell me what he says right
now. Grabbing the salacious and very obvious headlines and expounding on them with, and again, I'm only saying this because I heard her say out of her mouth that she saw a video of Stevie J and Joe Budden. So I know.
It's funny how
she said she's seen him on a video messing around with Stevie J. And Oh man,
In it, you're
I don't know if that's true. I never heard of that. And if it came out Joe Budden's mouth, that most likely is not no defamation lawsuits.
everyone's best friend, and the next, you're a fugitive. Oprah built an empire by being the person that America trusted. Every weekday afternoon, people tuned in to their best friend
Giving
Oprah.
away
She
them
was the
cars. I
woman who
told
made
you. I
people
used to
cry,
watch it because of my
laugh,
mom.
and think, and also somehow convinced them to buy a $400 blender. Now that friendly face is being accused of shady backroom deals,
$400
possibly
blender.
using her fortune to hide things nobody wants to talk about. The question remains, if there's nothing to hide, why the sudden escape?
See, but this is my thing. Look, take a look at Oprah right here.
Accused of shady backroom deals, possibly using her fortune to hide things nobody wants to talk about. The question.
Take a look at Oprah right there. Now, you're gonna tell me she's not after the same things as all of us? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to look nice. Everybody wants to have swag. You know, everybody wants to have a big car, a big mansion. But why doesn't anybody want to help the poor? I talk about Robin Hood. I literally, I be careful with the Robin Hood thing because I don't want, anybody that sees this, especially if like somebody in law enforcement sees my thing, my show. I don't want them to think that I think along those lines to a degree where I would actually, take something from a rich person and give it to a poor person, because they're silly like that. But to be honest, granted, Elon Musk, he made all that money, he made it. But the thing with capitalism is that one man can come up with an idea so grand and run his business so perfectly that he can end up with $1 trillion. Now, $1 trillion is about, let's say, 3% of the economy in America, let's say. That means that one human being out of 1 billion people has 3% of all of the America's wealth. That's why capitalism has become, it went from a good thing because what it was, it allowed the American, the American to live the American dream and go for broke. And if he tries and does well, he sky's the limit. See, but that's the thing. Sky cannot be the limit, because when sky is the limit, that means you could take it all. And what's left for other people? Nothing. When 0.01% or 1%, whatever it is, controls almost all the wealth, and the other 99% or 99.9% has what's left, it's gonna be not good. Sorry, I used good like Donald Trump.
Question remains, if there's nothing to
My
hide,
vocabulary
why the sudden
is
escape? Because folks, let's not forget, the FBI isn't just looking for her for kicks. This isn't about overdue library books. Oprah's being actively hunted, and there are serious accusations behind it. Even Piers Morgan, who's usually no stranger to stirring the pot, had to backpedal after airing rights accusations about Oprah. Lawyers were involved.
I said, Kirby and I will pay for our part. She goes, absolutely not.
Comparing this to Jeffrey Epstein's scandal, it's not a far-fetched leap if all these pieces fall into place. We're in an era where misinformation runs rampant, and anyone with a smartphone can become an armchair detective. But at the same time, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Oprah may have laughed off rumors before, like the time people claimed her house was raided. But this isn't just some internet conspiracy. There's an ongoing FBI investigation, and the fact that she felt the need to vanish right now, that's hard to ignore. In a strange twist, it turns out Oprah's been hiding more than just her avocado obsession. If you think about it, it's not exactly normal to have your own orchard just because avocados are too expensive. And
my apologies to everybody. I rewound it somehow. I don't know what happened, but I think we're back to where we were. There's only like 15 minutes left, so we good.
Maybe that's how she's lived her entire life, on a level far removed from everyone else. When you've got $1 billion empire, you can afford to make problems disappear, or at least you think you can. But the timing here is just too convenient. Diddy gets arrested, the FBI is looking for dirt, and suddenly Oprah's out of the picture. It's like something straight out of a crime drama, except instead of actors, we've got real people, real money, and real allegations that could bring everything crashing down. The deeper you dig, the more it feels like Oprah's squeaky clean image might be nothing but a shiny facade. There are a lot of theories swirling around. Some claim that when Homeland Security raided Diddy's properties, they weren't just looking for a paper trail, they were wiping out digital evidence. Could Oprah be involved in that tangled web too? Hollywood's known for its secrets, but this one might be too big to bury. And let's not forget, the internet is relentless. When people catch a
My bad. It's cold out here in New York now. It changed. Like, it's not summer at all no more. It was 50 degrees yesterday. It was 36 degrees in the morning. That's why you see me with the ski hat. But I got a little hot with the ski hat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just so you know, it's winter in New York.
whiff of scandal, they hold on. Oprah might be a billionaire, but public opinion is the one thing she can't just buy her way out of. And being a fugitive, that's not a good look, not even for Oprah. It's a strange thing when someone like Oprah, who's been a constant comforting figure in pop culture for decades, ends up on the FBI's radar. The story's still developing, but every new piece of information makes things look worse for her. Whether it's allegations about intimate trafficking, covering up incriminating evidence, or just flat out fleeing from her problems, none of it aligns with the Oprah that people thought they knew. And maybe that's the point. Maybe none of us ever really knew her at all. As this drama unfolds, it's becoming harder to separate fact from fiction. But if Oprah really was as innocent as she claims, she wouldn't need to hide, would she? Right now, Oprah's somewhere far away, trying to stay out of reach while the FBI digs deeper into this mess. Maybe she's sipping a drink on some private island, but rest assured, they'll find her. The truth, whatever it is, will come out. Maybe she'll turn out to be the victim of a smear campaign. Or maybe she's every bit as guilty as people are saying. Either way, the days of just sanitizing.
You think it's a smear campaign, or you think there's validity to this? Like, I believe there's validity to this because, you know, I've always looked at her like, wow, like you really are. It was like with Bill Cosby. Like, remember when Bill Cosby used to tell black folks they could do better and that they're making black people, because you know there's a thing where they say black people are taking a couple of steps forward and then they take a couple of steps backwards, then they take a couple of steps forward. It's an ongoing joke that some comics use or whatever. But what were they just talking about? My bad, guys.
Truth, whatever it is, will come out. Maybe she'll turn out to be the victim of a smear campaign, or maybe she's every bit as guilty as people are saying. Either way,
because like, you know, that's what it was. Bill Cosby. Well, he was always talking about how what people do bring the black people back when they were just gaining ground. And then all of a sudden he gets busted and gets put in jail for all them years. And the same man that was saying we could do better was accused of some of the most disgusting things you could think of, especially for a man who was scolding all the black folks for not being as successful as him, you know. And she had that same kind of, you know, we can do better. And then I'm hoping, well, first of all, what Bill Cosby was alleged of doing and ended up getting convicted, that was bad. So what she's doing, I have no idea if it equates to what Bill Cosby is in jail for right now. But I don't wish Oprah, just because she said rappers aren't allowed on her show, I don't wish her downfall. But I'm just saying, man, you talked about every rapper like they were scum. And now the FBI is hunting you, allegedly. And if what's alleged is true, who's the scum?
The days of just sanitizing and self-distancing are over. The FBI doesn't care how many followers you have or how many bestsellers you've got. They care about evidence. And right now, it's starting to look like they've got plenty. Oprah Winfrey, America's sweetheart, turned fugitive. Let's see how this one plays out. How did a woman who stood as an icon of generosity and warmth fall into the crosshairs of an FBI investigation? Oprah's influence stretches far and wide. For years, she carefully crafted.
Look at this, man. This kid right here, bro. He's the one.
Oprah's
you know, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if anybody says that he never you know, like him and Selena Gomez wasn't real. He was always into the same sex, you know, allegedly. I don't care. Because you know why? They grabbed him up when he was like 14, 15 years old and let him stay with Diddy. You know, now I don't care if he wasn't of age to give consent. And I mean that. And then when you let's listen, let's say he didn't like girls. That's even worse because he's confused. You know, he needs people that understand, and he needs to politic with people about what's going on. He don't need you to introduce him to anything like that in that fashion. You know,
Influence stretches
and what
far.
about Will Smith kissing Jaden Smith on the mouth? And then like my thing is if the kid was on some like reciprocated, like, oh, it's just my dad, you know, it's platonic, then I would understand. But no, the kid is fighting back, like physically fighting, and there's cameras. The kid is wrestling his father not to kiss him on the mouth. Like what's, and then you're gonna slap that guy. Like there was already signs, you know, and like I said, man, I don't care about a person's sexual preference. It's the deviance. It's the because you're scared to come out the closet, you'll have somebody murdered, emmed, whatever you want to call it, unalived. You know, they got, you know, taken out, whatever.
And wide. For years, she carefully crafted a public persona as someone who could do no wrong. She built schools in Africa, helped people in need, and became a beacon for philanthropy. But behind the scenes, it seems that there was something far more sinister lurking. With Diddy's arrest, a trove of secrets that were supposed to remain buried started to surface, and Oprah was reportedly tangled up in them. Sources claim that she was involved in covering up some of Diddy's most damning activities.
When you build schools in Africa, you're like a saint. When she built them schools in Africa, everybody was like Oprah. Even me, I forgot about the rapper thing. I'm like, oh, she don't want rappers on her show. I'm like, but she built schools in Africa. I'm like, oh well, I'm not mad at her no more about the rapper thing. She's building schools in Africa, you know, and then, you know, you find out that she, you know, no, it's still alleged. We still gotta keep watching. It's all alleged. I don't like to convict, prosecute, and people don't even know if it's true or not.
Particularly involving underage individuals. Allegedly, Oprah spent millions to acquire and bury footage that could destroy multiple high-profile careers, including her own. The internet is a strange place. It can make you famous overnight, or it can tear down an empire just as quickly. For Oprah, the internet has turned into a battleground where her every move is scrutinized, every decision questioned. People want answers. Why did she leave the country so suddenly? Was it just an unfortunate coincidence? Or was she genuinely trying to escape the law? Her tweets denying the allegations did little to help. They sounded dismissive, almost as if she thought a few words could quiet the noise. But there's a difference between dismissing.
All these people that are rich got to get back to saving the planet. All these rich people that got all this money that they don't know what to do, that they got 37 Rolls Royces. Y'all got to get back to saving the world, man. I've dreamt for years about making that much money so I could redistribute it. I don't understand why people don't dream about getting to the bag to redistribute the money so that people that don't got nothing now have. Why is that such a far-fetched notion? You know, and look at what happens. They're not helping the needy, and they're over here swimming in sin and doing all sorts of crazy um um you know, skeletons in the closet, deviant bullcrap.
A baseless rumor and running away while the FBI is closing in. The public can sense when something doesn't add up, and in this case, nothing seems to. Let's consider the accusations about the tapes. $75 million is
All
an
right,
outrageous sum,
I got
but it's
somebody in
pocket
here.
change for
I don't
someone
like
like
people
Oprah.
hanging
But
on the comments real quick. All right, so we have somebody, and that kid looks traumatized, writes Amber. Right, a kid that was just annoyed by it would laugh, I think, not always be crying. Why did she do that? That was her reasoning. Yes, Amber, thank you. Thank you very much for having common sense. Unlike a lot of people. Good comments. God bless you, man.
Why would she spend that kind of money? If these tapes did, in fact, involve celebrities and illegal activities, then owning them would be a way to control the narrative, wouldn't it? It would make sure that nothing leaked, nothing that could damage her image or bring down her empire.
You know what it is? My thing is that sometimes kids like that, you find them, I'm not going to say Justin Bieber in particular because I don't want to call him out, but kids like that, they end up doing harmful things to themselves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm going to give you the perfect example. Crisscross, the kid Chris Kelly, that, you know, either he overdosed or committed, you know, you know, I forget whether he OD'd or he took his own life, but regardless, they said that not only did Sean Diddy Combs get take advantage and assault Chris Kelly, which is the darker skinned one from Crisscross. They said that allegedly Jermaine Dupri not only also essayed him, he also passed him along to somebody else. There's even a rumor that Jada Pinkett, at 22 years old, did some cougar stuff to the kid. There's video of guys saying, I forget, oh, it's Daz from Death Row, from Daz and Corrupt, from the Dog Pound. He said that Chris Kelly he told him he gave him an ounce of marijuana and said, yo, if you just stay here with me until she leaves, you could have the ounce of marijuana. And Daz said, I was like, yo, he gonna give us an ounce just to stick around? Like, hell yeah. And they waited for her to leave. And it was like Chris Kelly was hiding from Jada Pinkett, they said. And then the tragic incident happens with Chris Kelly. This is what happens when they do this to these kids. Chris Kelly is the perfect example. The girl, the shorty from the Disney World, not Lizzie McGuire, the one before her, the one, I forget her name, Amanda Bynes. Look at what's going on with Amanda Bynes right now. You know, and even there's a lot of them. I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but the Disney stars, Jaguar, right? At one point, the Locks was telling P. Diddy, if you don't, you know, when people like you do that type of stuff, it makes me feel like I want to throw a safe on your head from the top of a building. They were saying stuff like that, but they were letting them know that maybe might not be a fantasy. And Diddy let them go. They were the first people to get their publishing rights back from Puffy after being signed to like a 10-year slave deal, you know? And but those are guys that are hard like that. They come from the streets for real, for real. They were telling them, yo, if you don't make things right, you're gonna have problems. Now, not everybody's built like that. So everybody that's not tough like that, they got taken advantage of. You know, thank God that Jada, Kiss, Styles, and Sheik, they not the ones. So he tried to run that game that he did to everybody else because he got away with doing it to Mace. But I guess Mace ain't built like Jada and Styles. Because Mace been talking a little like reckless lately. You know, when you a preacher, don't even talk about you not built for that. And because he got into some stuff with Shannon Sharp. And he's telling Shannon Sharp, you not built like that. Let's not even take it there. Listen, dogs, I remember when Jim Jones had you on the phone talking about he gonna smack your kufi off your head. So don't just stay away from the tough guy talk, the violent stuff. I stay away from it. And I ain't never let no man say they're gonna smack my kufi off my head. I don't wear a kufi, but even my ski cap or my baseball cap.
Diddy's arrest meant that the secret was out, and the FBI had a direct line to
Ain't
all the
nobody
dirt
smacking
that
shit
people
off
like
my
Oprah
head.
had spent years and millions trying to bury. Suddenly, her decision to leave the country doesn't look like just an innocent vacation.
I started to think about where would I most want to go. Maybe I should take all of you with me to the other side of the world.
Look at how happy she got that crowd. Let me ask you guys one question. Do you think after she gave away all that stuff, she felt taken advantage of and became bitter? You know, and maybe was on some, you know what? To heck with those peasants. I'm not helping them no more. Because I remember when they sold the cars on eBay, she was tight. You know? Let me check the comments real quick. Yeah, he looked traumatized. She has no reasoning for it, Amber. That's exactly why they getting at her. The whole audience to Australia. That's gotta cost like $1 million. I liked her when she was like this. This is the Oprah that everybody loved, man. Not only that, you know, I like a lot of people in the crowd, they're working class people. Some of them are even upper middle class people, slightly wealthy. I'm not gonna say they don't deserve it, you know, but make sure that some people that are messed up get included. You know what I'm saying? This is the Oprah that everybody loved. I used to watch these shows and I used to be like, man, I can't say nothing bad about her. Look how many people she's blessing. You know what I used to tell my mother? That as much money as she gave away, she made it right back. So it's nothing if I give away $1 million and make back 2 million. These shows used to generate mucho chavo.
The media frenzy that has ensued is almost predictable. People love nothing more than a good scandal, and when it involves someone like Oprah, it's impossible to ignore. This isn't just some tabloid gossip. This is a woman who represented the best of the American dream. She rose from poverty, built a massive media empire, and won the hearts of millions. And now, it turns out that there might be a very dark side to her success.
You know, me and my bro, we rhyme. You know, if you go to my videos, the very first video we did was a song called That N-Word Stuff. So in the song, my brother goes, I'm a strong, you're messing with a ran through, go and get more, you know, get bread, something. But every word is the N-word at the end of the bar. We were going to call it the Oprah song on some, like, you know, I hope she gets offended type stuff. This was around the time she said we wouldn't have a rapper on, that she wouldn't have a rapper on her show. You know what I'm saying? But like we literally were gonna name the song the Oprah song because it was so like shocking that we had a feeling that if she seen it, she would have condemned it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, people, all these rich people need to get with. Listen, even if it becomes plant, you know, they said that the carbon emissions going into the sky are absolutely destroying the ozone. They're saying that the way they farm, it's called tilling. They're saying they're tilling the ground too deep and it's turning rich soil into desert sand. You know, that's the thing these people need to focus on. Not hating on the poor and hating on rappers, you know, and then meanwhile you're doing some deviant stuff.
Allegations of intimate trafficking, covering up violence, and using her influence to protect predators. It's the kind of story that's almost too shocking to be true. Yet, here we are,
When he said
with an
intimate
ongoing
trafficking, he
FBI
said that 'cause he
investigation
didn't want to
and a
get in
media
trouble.
icon on the run. Oprah's connections have always run deep. From Hollywood A-listers to politicians, she's rubbed shoulders with some of the most powerful people in the world. And that's part of what makes these allegations so troubling. If Oprah was willing to use her power and influence to protect people like Diddy, then who else is she protecting? And why? The deeper this story goes, the more it feels like we're only scratching the surface.
You think maybe Gail's on one of the tapes getting her freak on, and that's why she bought it? You know, we just speculate, and you know what I'm saying? There was a time where I had a vendetta against Oprah because of what she said. I was that scarred. But by the time this came out, I have no personal ill will towards her. And but now it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with what the feds, whatever they want to talk to you about.
If Oprah has been hiding these kinds of secrets, then it's very
Can't believe I woke up today and it said Oprah fled the country.
likely that others in her circle are just as guilty. Hollywood is built on connections, and when one domino falls, the rest are likely to follow. What's fascinating is how quickly Oprah's friends and allies have gone silent. In the past, anytime Oprah faced even a hint of controversy, her supporters rallied behind her. They would go on talk shows, post on social media, and defend her integrity. But this time, there's been nothing but silence. No one wants to be associated with someone who's being investigated by the FBI for crimes this serious. It's as if they're all waiting to see how this plays out before deciding where their loyalties lie. And that speaks volumes. In Hollywood, silence is often louder than words, and in this case, deafening.
I just see my Brody in the room. Yo, what up? What up? What up, G'd up Quinn? I would be happy if she sent me to the Bronx Zoo. Oh. Yo, guys, the man of the hour has just arrived. That is my bro, G'd up Quinn, in the room with us. This is the man that made the infamous that N-word stuff. And man, we sure hope it offended Oprah, but we titled it different. We didn't want to be vindictive. And salute to my bro for writing such an epic song. If you want to see my brother's elegant song, it is literally the first edited video we published on the Puffinstein channel. So go to my videos, check out the very first video ever published, and enjoy the song that we considered calling the Oprah song. And according to my brother, he said, I would have been happy if she sent me to the Bronx Zoo. And then he wrote, I'm going to write an Oprah diss track. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Yo, Q, you the man, bro. I love you, bro.
Would be involved in something like this is hard for many to accept. She's been a symbol of hope and success for so many people. But at the same time, the signs have always been there. The extravagant lifestyle, the high-profile friendships, the untouchable aura, all of it points to someone who is used to getting what they want, no matter the cost. And when you're that powerful, it's easy to think that you're above the law. But the law doesn't care about how many awards you've won or how many people love you. It cares about justice. And if Oprah has indeed been involved in criminal activity, then she'll have to face the consequences just like anyone else. The most chilling part of this whole saga is the possibility that Oprah has been hiding in plain sight for decades. The idea that someone who has been so publicly generous and kind could be involved in something so dark is almost too much for people to handle.
Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, man, what happens with people, adults, behind closed doors when it comes to sex or making love, whatever you want to call it, that is not my business. The thing that bothers me is that me and my peoples, we come from the streets. And if they hear me say something like that, they look at me with disgust. Like, how could you say you're from the streets with pride? Well, let me tell you something. How could you have any pride when you look at us like we're monsters and we're people out there that used to do petty stuff, and you're out here doing monstrous stuff? Not to mention that I've been on the straight and narrow for over a decade and a half, 2 decades. When I met my wife, she took me off of the street corner and said, you're not playing around no more. You're a good dude, and we're gonna make a life together, and you're gonna leave those corners alone. And that was 24 years ago. I started to change. You know what I'm saying? But yet, a woman like Oprah would look at me like I'm a peasant, like I'm no good. And then my thing is not her sexual cravings, nothing like that. What her friends did, whether she's buying the tapes to save a friend, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is how is it when you commit a crime, or anybody in Hollywood, the music industry, TV shows, they commit a crime, and it's like, oh, give them another chance. They're not bad people. But meanwhile, while people that don't have a penny do something to maybe get a dollar to get ahead, and it's not even as destructive as the things that a lot of these people are doing, we get called low lives. So if she committed a crime, I guess she's a low life too, allegedly.
That's why she's been able to get away.
Hold on, let me check real quick. Quinn, G'd up Quinn writes, I love you back. That's what's up. And then he called it Doper. And I'm not laughing because that's my brother. That is hilarious. All right, so let's get back to Doper.
Way with it for so long. People don't want to believe that their heroes are flawed. They want to believe in the fairy tale, in the idea that someone can rise from nothing and become a beacon of light. But fairy tales aren't real. And sometimes the people we look up to are hiding things that we could never imagine. The FBI investigation is still ongoing, and it's likely that more information will come out in the coming weeks and months. For now, all we can do is watch as this story unfolds. Oprah's flight from the country has raised a lot of questions, and until those questions are answered, the cloud of suspicion over her will only grow darker. Whether she's guilty or innocent, one thing is certain: Oprah's life will never be the same again. The public's trust is a fragile thing, and once it's broken, it's almost impossible to repair. Oprah Winfrey, once America's sweetheart, is now a fugitive, and the world is watching her every move. This story isn't just about Oprah. It's about power, influence, and the dark side of fame. It's about the lengths that people will go to in order to protect themselves and their empires.
And it's also about how money can corrupt and how a person is never satisfied. This woman has $1 billion or more. How when she got to 100 million, she wasn't satisfied. Got to 200 million, wasn't satisfied. 500 million, wasn't satisfied. 750 million, wasn't satisfied. When is it enough? When do you have so much that you're like, yo, I'm gonna start funneling some of this down to the people that don't have shit?
And it's a reminder that no one, no matter how beloved or powerful, is above the law. Oprah may have thought that she could control the narrative, that she could use her money and influence to make this all go away. But the truth has a way of coming out. And it seems that time might be running out for Oprah. Whether she's guilty or innocent, her decision to flee has already done irreparable damage to her reputation. And in the court of public opinion, that might be the harshest verdict of all. Oprah Winfrey, the queen of daytime talk and America's long-loved darling, hasn't exactly lived a scandal-free life. And now, if the latest reports are anything to go by, she's gone full Houdini, reportedly fleeing the country. But let's not forget, this isn't her first rodeo with controversy.
See, she fled the country, man. Listen, I'm making this declaration right now. Guys, if I ever make it to $1 billion, if I ever even make it to $500 million, I would sign a contract saying if I ever make it to $500 million, I would give away half immediately. And poor me, I'd have to live off the only $250 million.
Brand, once built on trust, book clubs, and tear-filled confessions, has seen its fair share of drama. From lawsuits to awkward endorsements, the media mogul has danced in and out of the limelight, navigating through mess after mess. But this time, she might be in deeper trouble than anyone could have predicted. And, as they say, the plot thickens. First, let's dig into the whole beef issue back in 1996. Ah, yes, the infamous burger boycott. Not exactly a chapter the Texas cattle ranchers are willing to forget. Oprah's comment about mad cow disease, stopping her from eating another burger, made the cattle folks see red. Cue a lawsuit that dragged her down to Amarillo, Texas, where the entire town practically sharpened their pitchforks. Defamation, check. Decline in beef sales, you bet. But she walked away not liable. I mean, number one. And then there was the time Oprah got a bit too descriptive about certain bedroom activities in 2005. A discussion that wasn't quite appropriate.
I was just telling you that there was some stuff about her and her husband or whatever. I don't know if this is it. Let's
for
see.
What most thought would be just another afternoon of inspirational stories and audience giveaways. But instead, parents ended up shielding their kids from the screen, frantically trying to switch channels during what should have been family-friendly hours. The FCC got involved because nothing says controversy like angry parents filing formal complaints. The idea of Oprah being at odds with a government body, not exactly what her PR team had in mind. Jump ahead to 2008 when Oprah played politics. Everyone knew she had a thing for Obama, but when she declined to host Sarah Palin's show during the election, well, it looked a lot less like personal preference and a lot more like political gatekeeping. The criticism was intense, and her carefully curated image took a hit. Media bias much, people started seeing her as
I can't believe that
fooled by the perfectly curated.
I can't believe that people like Oprah act like we're horrible and they're so perfect when the stuff that they do is on a scale, a global scale. So how could anything I do affect the world like you when your effects are global effects? You understand what I'm saying? What she does affects the globe. What I do at best affects my circle. You understand what I'm saying?
Friendly hours. The FCC got involved because nothing says controversy like Sarah Palin on her show during the election comes to buy vibrators for their teenage daughters. And no, this isn't satire. She really said that. The collective gas.
I'm gonna rewind
like
it even though it's
gatekeeping. The criticism was intense, and her started seeing her as a partisan player. Oprah made her choice. She backed Obama, but the backlash was undeniable. Then there was that bizarre 2009 incident when Oprah, perhaps a bit too enthusiastically, told moms to buy vibrators for their teenage daughters. And no, this isn't satire. She really said that. The collective gasp from viewers and critics was deafening. People weren't ready for Oprah to dive headfirst into that kind of conversation, at least not on daytime television. It's one thing to hand out cars. It's another entirely to hand out intimate advice to teenagers, parents.
She probably even know, but that's a big boo-boo. She's so she's such a hypocrite. She contradicts herself so much and didn't realize it.
Oprah wasn't the comforting maternal figure anymore. She was the one giving your teenager very questionable advice. Speaking of questionable endorsements, Oprah's nod to alternative medicine has been a wild ride. The thing with Suzanne Summers and her hormone replacement therapy, or when she let Jenny McCarthy have a platform to spout anti-vaccine nonsense. Not Oprah's finest hours. It's one thing to endorse self-improvement and empowerment, but giving airtime to pseudoscience? Not great, Oprah.
Like millions of people, I've struggled with my weight, and I've been shamed and ridiculed for it. Join me for a frank conversation about the medications.
Medical professionals came out of the woodwork to criticize her for promoting ideas that lacked scientific backing. But hey, ratings are ratings, right?
Her schoolgirl affectations and body movements. Like, okay, ready? Here it is. Like, okay. She raises herself up her chair. Like, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this. Okay.
You're so right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to tell you. You haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind.
And let's not forget the time she told everyone that Australians love their hip McCafes, courtesy of her show's McDonald's sponsored segment before her Australia tour. Cue Australians collectively scratching their heads and the Australian coffee scene, a sacred thing, mind you, fuming. It was like telling the French that their favorite meal is a Big Mac, a bizarre marketing ploy that ended up annoying the very people Oprah was hoping to charm. But hey, the check from McDonald's must have looked pretty, right? And speaking of optics, let's rewind to 2007 when her Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa faced a scandal that turned Oprah Oprah's dream into a nightmare. The former
I didn't
dorm
know about
matron was accused of mistreating students. Oprah said it was the most devastating experience of her life. And honestly, it probably was. But it also turned into one of those ugly reminders that even Oprah couldn't shield her projects from chaos. It wasn't a great look. Here she was, trying to do something positive, and instead, she had a PR disaster on her hands. Cue Oprah in front of the cameras, apologizing and trying to pick up the pieces. Fast forward to recent years, and Oprah's affiliation with weight loss culture has come back by way a Weight Watchers snack might. Her stint with Weight Watchers lasted almost a decade, and then suddenly, in 2024, she hopped off that board and revealed she'd been using a weight loss substance. Just like that, she abandoned the old work hard and be healthy mantra for a pharmaceutical quick fix. People felt betrayed. She was supposed to be the champion of balanced health, and now she's singing a very different tune. Now let's throw Monique into the mix. The comedian went full throttle at Oprah, calling her.
He did not even bring up until the very end Monique, and I'm wondering if he's going to bring up her trying to lowball Taraji P. Henson.
Her a raggedy bitch and accusing her of betrayal. Monique wasn't holding back, claiming Oprah and other big names had blackballed her from Hollywood. The feud laid bare some real tension in the end.
I remember Monique in Charm School. She got me mad when she hosted Charm School. I don't know if you guys seen that. So, like I said, she put a bad taste in my mouth for a while, you know, but then I'm like, that's silly. You know what I'm saying? Monique, I kind of liked her before that. And then sure enough, she starts becoming like, you know, like the poster child for the people who had been done wrong. And we found out about Precious, that she won the Academy Award and they only gave her $50,000. You know, there's no explanation for that. And then to receive the Academy Award and no job offers come in after that, blackballing. I'm not saying who did it, but the only way a woman who wins the Best Actress Award over, she must have been over 4 other actresses that were phenomenal. How do you not get no work after that? You know what I'm saying? And then Taraji P. Henson goes to do The Color Purple, and you're not trying to offer her. That's $1 million role. No way in the world that's not $1 million role. I don't remember how much she offered her or if it was even stated, but
Entertainment industry, the kind of behind the scenes drama that fans usually don't get to
Wendy
see.
Williams.
And honestly, people started questioning, was she really the supportive mentor she seemed to be? Was there a darker side to her power plays in Hollywood? And while we're talking about dealings, there's no Rogan's critique at the 2024 Democratic National Convention. He called out Oprah and Michelle Obama for their supposed hypocrisy, talking about income inequality while flaunting their millions. Rogan had a point, and people started to wonder, how authentic could these speeches really be when they came from people whose lives are worlds away from those?
You go, Joe Rogan. Income equality, baby. That's why I mess with Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he says stuff that throws me off, but income equality? Can we give Joe Rogan a round of applause? Let's annihilate poverty. Let's annihilate poverty. You know why? Because I guarantee you, if poverty gets eradicated, there will be 100 million thousand times less crimes than there are now. Eradicate poverty. Joe Rogan, one more time for Joe Rogan.
Of the average voter. It was a critical hit to Oprah's credibility, and you have to admit, it's not hard to see where Rogan was coming from. And let's not even start on the conspiracy theories. Actually, let's. Remember the time the internet lost its mind over some conspiracy about Oprah being involved in a global intimate trafficking ring? It was obviously bogus, but the fact that it gained traction says a lot about how people had started viewing her. Once you're seen as untouchable, the fall from grace, or even the rumor of it, gets amplified 1,000 times. And who could forget Rose McGowan blasting Oprah in 2021, calling her out as fake and mentioning her ties to Harvey Weinstein? The timing was messy, and it put Oprah in the crosshairs of the Me Too movement. Here was Oprah, who had openly condemned Weinstein, but McGowan wasn't buying it. Oprah's past friendly interactions with Weinstein suddenly looked really, really bad. Was she oblivious, or worse, complicit? Did Oprah really flee to dodge justice? Or is this just another twist in a wild conspiracy? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more explosive updates.
All right, guys. Just want to shout out Rap Heat again. Didn't want to definitely showcase the video and not, let people know where it came from. Big shout out to Rap Heat. I'm gonna give him my subscription. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna stop sharing now. All right, people. It's crazy, bro. Oh man, Oprah. What does money do to this world? Yo, brother Quinn, you still there? Just checking to see if my Brody's still there. Yeah, man. The almighty buck. The almighty buck, man. If you listen, man, I'm gonna end it on this because I can't. Oh no, wait up. A matter of fact, let's bring up Johnny Somali real quick, man. I gotta do that for him. He's in trouble, and the Korean way, south or north, but especially north. I'm praying that he's south. I know he's not stupid enough to go to North Korea with that. Yeah, Johnny Somali's trapped in Korea, and they were slugging him all over the place, man. And I'm doing this for his sake. The stuff that he did is the type of stuff that, people will be like, good for you. You deserve it. I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kid, even though he messed, like leaving people for unalive. All right, I'm gonna get up the video real quick. You might want to help the kid. I don't know if you want to after you find out why they're trying to annihilate him in Korea. He's literally trapped in Korea. I don't know if he made it back yet, but we're gonna find out. Yeah, he's facing 29 years in a South Korean prison. I'm gonna go to Asmongold TV real quick. All right, now this guy, I watch him sometimes, but sometimes he throws me off a little bit, but he has a pretty good channel. And the main thing is that I'm gonna let you guys see what's going on with Johnny Somali. This is a kid that went to Korea. He was talking a lot of crazy stuff about Korean people. He was defacing public property, private property, statues that are considered holy and very, very treasured. One of the statues represented the fight that they had for women's rights, and he poured baby oil on it, like because of the 1,000 bottles that they found in P. Diddy's house, and just foolish stuff. But now he's sorry, and I bet he is sorry. So I'm gonna bring this up real quick so you guys, you do the math on whether you would help the kid or not. I think he needs help because I don't think he deserves 29 years for what he did. I think whatever punishment they would give a kid for, like, public nuisance, disorderly conduct, maybe a charge or two heavier than that, but nothing that would land the kid in prison for a long time or even at all. I can't leave this kid messed up like this. As much as I know he messed up, I'm still gonna ride for him a little something. Let me add it to the stage. All right, guys, this is a kid. Remember, he's trapped in South Korea. They're thinking about giving him 29 years just for being a fool.
Johnny Somali apparently might be taking a really long vacation from content creation. It might be a 29-year vacation.
Somali has officially been indicted by South Korean authorities for obstruction of business. What does that mean?
Here's an idea
of
why he's there.
By South Korean authorities.
Take a look at this picture, guys, and this will give you an idea of why he's there.
Has officially been indicted by South.
Yes, you See this right here? This is the kind of stuff he could make his YouTube channel blow up by going to another country and trolling people that are this close to problems with the country, the neighboring country, if you get my drift, you know. And like I said, you do your own research about whatever problem South and North Korea have with each other. But why would you fly to such a hostile region to make your YouTube blow up by acting like a fool and putting on, look at this, you know? But let's keep watching.
Korean authorities for obstruction of business. What
Yeah.
does that mean for him? Well, he could be looking at up to 5 years.
Obstruction
South Korean authorities for
obstruction of business. I never heard that. I don't know if I should hear that. You know, yo, in certain countries, you should be happy you were born in America. As many complaints as people have about America, you need to be happy that you were born here instead of other places, because they will take your hand for stealing.
obstruction of business. What
Yeah.
does that mean for him? Well, he could be looking at up to 5 years in prison, a huge fine, and potential deportation.
Ooh.
Yes, this is as serious as it sounds. But here's where things get really interesting. The South Korean justice system
Who does this?
sounds. But here's where things get really interesting. The South
Why? How do you do this? Like, why? It's just so weird.
Korean justice system, it's not like the American system. Last week, Johnny was arrested as the investigation began, and officials acted fast. They took his passport, effectively locking him in the country.
Jesus.
Now, after collecting enough evidence, they've officially
What is
charged
he
him.
doing?
This also means his travel ban is extended until after the trial, so there's no way he's leaving Korea anytime soon.
See, he's making me feel less sorry for him. I didn't even see this footage. Why would you go into a Chinese deli where they let you sit down and eat, buy ramen noodles, and then pour the ramen noodles all over the desk?
Bro, he's acting like he's 2 years old.
Yes.
Like, honestly, it almost doesn't bother me that he's doing this, because I think of it as like a person having a mental health episode. It's like, oh my God.
It's partial. I think it's partially that, maybe, but he's trolling for money. That's what he's doing. He made a bad error by going to Korea to try to get to the bag. People come to America to get to the bag. They don't go fly to Korea to get to the bag, you know. And now, oh man.
So we need to get social services over here immediately. Bro, somebody.
And here's a key fact to keep in mind.
Oh my
South Korea
God.
has a 90% conviction rate once a case reaches the indictment stage. Yeah, those odds aren't exactly in his favor. Johnny's facing some serious consequences. Right now,
boy.
he's only been indicted for an incident that occurred in a restaurant, which means more
How do you
serious.
do this? I just. How do you do this? It's so weird.
You keep repeating this thing.
Indicted.
Okay.
All right, so but look, I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life watching him act like a fool and then telling you guys about how he's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, look, man. Yes, I have compassion for him. Yes, he's at an age that he had. Hold on, let me real quick. How old is Johnny Somali? All right, he's 24 years old. I mean, I could tell you guys that the brain is underdeveloped until 26. That's about the best I could do for you, Johnny Somali, is tell people that he's still young. You know, people be like, nah, he ain't young. People are tough out there. They don't want to hear that shit. They're like, yo, he's older than 18. That's old enough. There's some people that would say 21. And then a guy like me who knows, like, I've done, you know, I was out there acting a fool till I was like 22, you know. So, and not stuff like that. I was way more respected in my neighborhood. But I'm just saying, like, I was making mistakes for a while. So I do feel bad for him. But my man, you 24 years old. Like, what's like your thought process? What are you doing? Listen, man, much love to you guys. You know, don't be like some rich folks that make it and forget about where they came from. Don't be like Johnny Somali at 24 years old and fly to Korea, you know, which isn't the hostile version of the country, because the South and North Korea is supposed to be the one you really got to be careful for. That's the one that the movie, the interview with Seth Rogen and John Franco did. You know, they didn't even let that air in the movie theaters. There must have been some sort of threats coming in because they put it on Netflix. You know, and a lot of people were upset that they didn't have the, you know, courage to put it on in movie theaters but it might have been smart if it kept the peace. You already know how I feel. Peace is what it is. You know what I'm saying? No violence. I'm non-violent. I'll only be violent if I feel like somebody's gonna be violent with me, you know. But yeah, don't be the kind of person that gets rich and forgets where you come from. And don't be the kind of young man that is so thirsty to get to the bag that you fly to Korea to get money. People come to America to get money. They don't fly to Korea to get money, bro. And, you know, I understand what he was trying to do, but it was a big fail, beyond a fail. First of all, he didn't take anybody into consideration but himself. And now he is looking at, you know, a 90% conviction rate. You know what they're saying, right? It's seeming like his best case scenario is maybe doing a year or two in Korea. But that's best case scenario, a year or two in a Korean jail. You know, that's why I put him on my channel, just so that people could know about what's going on. And maybe if the people in Korea know that it's that big a thing out here, maybe they'll go a little bit easier on them. It's your boy Spank Dog, man. Much love. You know, help the poverty stricken, man. You know, God bless everybody out there. Much love, y'all. One.